Hello, everybody. I'm Debbie here. Welcome to episode 134 of Chilling3000 Hangout for the 15th of September, 2024. It's been a crazy day of NFL, and we're glad to bring it here to the table for you all. 10 games going at once for the first 3 to 4 hours, and some crazy drama just a half hour ago with one of the games. But I was listening on the radio to the Broncos game, so that was nice. Not sarcastically, but today I'm here with some good people here with us. We have Eric Lima,
Hello, what's going on?
Danny Lewis,
Good evening.
Russell Baxter,
Good evening. How we doing, guys?
doing good, and Cal Victor.
Good morning, America. Oh, wait, that's copyrighted.
No, it's good evening.
Well,
It's the
geez.
evening. Well, actually, it could be morning anywhere in the world.
In Australia, it's probably the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look. It's 10 a.m. over there. So technically, if we have an Australian viewer, good morning.
Yep. So let's get right down to business here with talking about the NFL, and Russell here will be giving us his thoughts on the first 2 weeks of the NFL season here so far, and we'll do our reports of our teams and giving us some talking about some news that's happened here for the past 2 weeks. First, we want to welcome our guest for tonight's show, Russell Baxter. Would like to tell everybody about yourself and what you do here as for football and whatever you cover, since for those who may not have seen the interview we did last year. So, would like to update them?
Oh, well, I currently write for Fansided, NFL Spin Zone, Titan Sized, and Fin Fanatic. Also do some freelance consulting work. Spent 22 years at ESPN, 1 season doing CBS Thursday Night Football. Did a couple nerd bowls for Good Morning Football. Been at this for 40 plus years, having a blast. Just turned 65 years old last week, and
happy belated.
Which means I'm at the halfway point of life.
That's true. So happy belated birthday to you, and I hope you had a good 65th birthday. And,
yes, it was good. I made it through it, so that's obviously a good sign. So
yeah.
Was there any big highlights that you have for your 65th birthday? Because that is a big milestone right there.
No, I was out to dinner. Wrote. I write every day. Yeah, with all the assignments I have and so on. So no, it was just kind of business as usual. But got a lot of people, a lot of well wishes. It was very nice to hear from a lot of people in my family and so on. So on to 66, as Bill Belichick would say.
That's right. All right. So without further ado, let's go to our teams right now. We are missing a couple of people, but that's okay once they come on here. You'll get to them. As for Lucas and Jesse, if once they come on here, but no rush at all. Let's get started with. I'm actually gonna do a random randomizer here to see who will go first, and let me do that here right now using random.org is it's very useful. So and okay, now let's start with Eric. You're up first. You have 2.5 minutes to explain your team's performance this week. Now.
Okay, 2-for-1 special. The Red Sox lost today 3 out of 4 games against the Yankees. All I can say is they need to get a winning streak, or else they're done for the playoffs. But as far as the Patriots are concerned, I'll tell you one thing: nobody expected them to win the first game against the defending AFC champ, the Bengals, and they did just that. But then they come to Foxborough, the first home game of the season. Seattle played them tough, and I'll tell you what, until the end, I'll tell you what. New England, I thought New England would have this in the bag, but then I think the blocked field goal had cost them. It had not been for that blocked field goal, I think they would have won the game. But also, So Seattle didn't want to spend money. So now eventually 12-49, they got it 23-20. But the Patriots shown they're no pushovers, but they got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of rebuilding done. So that's all I got.
All right. Okay, cool. And we'll just go in order here to see who came up, and we'll go to Russell here. You can talk about your thoughts on the Patriots as well, and that time starts now.
Well, I thought it was a very good offensive effort from them. Once again, they were the more physical football team. They managed to get a little heat on Geno Smith, but not enough. They gave up over 300 yards passing. Two of the Seahawks receivers had over 100 yards receiving. They did a great job of shutting down the run, but that doesn't do you much good if Seattle was able to throw the ball with the kind of success that they had. I mean, it was a turnover-free game. Neither team made a mistake. For the second straight week, New England ran the ball very, very effectively, but couldn't capitalize on certain opportunities. And give credit where credit's due to Seattle. This was a battle of two first-time NFL head coaches, both with defensive backgrounds. Obviously, Gerard Mayo, former great defensive player for the Patriots, and Mike McDonald, who had led the Ravens defense for a couple of years. And, now Seattle's sitting with a pair of wins. They beat Denver last week, and now going on the road cross country and doing what they did today, speaks a lot for them. This is a team that spent, 14, 15 years with Pete Carroll at the helm.
Yeah.
There were a lot of questions about Geno Smith coming into the year. Remember, they traded for Sam Howell from the Commanders. But they did it through the air today. Last week, they pretty much did it, on the ground with Kenneth Walker Jr. And I'm sure Mike McDonald is not only happy with the fact that they won the game, but he didn't get a couple of safeties, as was the case last week. They got nailed for two safeties in the same game, which doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Is that all I have to say about the Patriots? Got 25 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, I could wax poetically about. I think they play the Jets this week on a short week on Thursday. Obviously, divisional game, very, very important divisional game, and so on. The Jets got a win today. They looked a lot better defensively than they did against San Francisco. San Francisco humbled them, and so on. But it just goes show you around the league. We're sitting here after overreaction Monday in week one, and suddenly a lot of these teams that lost won. And it was also just on a bigger picture, very big afternoon for the road teams.
Oh, yes. And yeah, I agree with everything you said. And we'll have to see what happens next week, because people say the season doesn't matter for the first 2 weeks. No, it does matter, because if we stay healthy, get more experience, we can become a better team when it does matter the most.
The first 2 weeks matter.
Yeah, when it comes to what can happen to all the other teams last year when they have a perfect record as for home, or if they go smooth for the regular season, when it comes to January they can flop. So
yes,
anything can happen. All right, Victor, on your NFL teams, since you have more than one team, I'll give you 4.5 minutes just for fairness.
Okay.
And this time starts now.
Okay, I want to start off with the Bills. First thing I want to say is this: Thursday Night Football on Amazon is just a cursed program. It's probably the most cursed program in the history of television, especially what happened on Thursday night. Not so much with my team, but with the Miami Dolphins. The Bills looked very, very dominant, especially with James Cook. They let him cook. He is exactly what the Bills need right now. Absolutely what they need. Josh Allen looked better than what he did last week. And we were dominating the Dolphins even before that infamous Tua injury. It's just,
Oh my, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to
yeah,
that.
I'm trying to refrain because I didn't know if we were going to talk about that or not separately. So I'm going to try and refrain
Mm.
as well. We just looked dominant, and I'm very happy that the Bills won as bad as they did. Even though Thursday Night Football is not exactly the most entertaining show to watch, because even if your team is winning, and I'm obviously happy that my team is winning, but it gets old, it gets rather boring. But at the same time, they looked really good out there. They looked a lot better. And James Cook, he's a talent. He's an absolute talent. So that's what I'm going to say with the Bills. The
Yes.
Giants, well, we had to face the Commanders today, and the Commanders and the Giants are pretty much the worst teams in week one. And yeah, it was more so a battle of who sucks less. That's what this game was. Who sucks less? And obviously, the Washington Commanders sucked less. I mean, it's not, that game was nothing to write home about. It really wasn't nothing to write home about. But Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is probably, other than what I've been hearing about the Panthers, he's probably the worst quarterback in this damn league. I'm being honest. He's probably the
Oof.
worst in this whole league because so many missed opportunities with him. They keep on giving him they keep on giving him so much chances, and he always squanders these chances. It's to the point where apparently, according to Sports Illustrated, Brian Dable smashed his headset after the Giants lost today. No joke. You can look that up. He literally is so frustrated to the point where he's smashing his headset. It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know what's going on. You won like Coach of the Year 2 years ago. And now look where the Giants are at now. They're horrible. They're
Yeah.
horrific. It's just, actions speak louder than words at this point because literally Daniel Jones, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to say what a lot of people have been saying. He needs to be benched. He needs to be benched. He needs to be replaced with, I don't know, get fucking DeVito out there or something. I don't know. Just Daniel Jones is not our future. We keep on giving him chances. We need to cut him by the end of the year. This is going to be, I already knew it was going to be a very long year for the Giants, but this is
Yeah.
horrible. I mean, the Commanders already played a sloppy game as it is. It wasn't a great game, but they got the job done, even if it was sloppy. The Giants, I don't know. It feels like they're not really, I don't know, at the offensive level especially, I don't know what's going on with them. It's just
Yeah.
a chaos, it's weird. It's weird. That's all I have to say.
All right. And by the way, back to the Bills. They are now 12-1 versus Miami in the last 13 games. So
Wow.
after last week. So
Sean
the Bills got
McDermott, including the playoffs, is 14-2 versus Miami since he became the
yeah.
Bills head coach in 2017. And that predates Josh Allen.
That's crazy. And the Bills have Miami's number, and as a Patriots fan, I'm happy for that because the two teams I don't like in the NFL is the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Other than that, I don't really care. So now let's get to Tua's injury that sucked just on Thursday Night Football. It has happened on Prime where I don't know. I'm gonna start with Russell. What's your thoughts on this injury for Tua?
The injury to Tua?
Yeah, the quarterback
what
for
you're
the
asking?
Dolphins. Yeah. What's your thoughts on the injury?
Well, he's going to have to make a decision. That's what
Yeah.
it comes down to. It's not up to anyone else but him.
Mhm.
If he's medically cleared, he has to make a decision about his playing future. Because this happened a couple of times. Now, last year he started every game, led the league in passing yards, did not get a concussion. Okay, we know what
Yeah.
happened before then. So it's a wait and see game is what it is. And we're not going to see him next week, okay? But it's one of those things, and it's something that has become very important to the league in the last 10 years, and understandably
Yeah.
so. They're a lot more health conscious, concussion conscious than they were in the
Yes.
past. And at times, players have been their own worst enemies as far as not taking themselves off the field. And we've seen the ramifications of guys who've retired and life after football did not go very well for them. And, I'm not going to cite the names and so on. I'm sure you guys know who they are. So
Yeah.
he has to take all this in consideration. I'm sure it's a discussion with his family, but first things first, he has to be cleared by the medical people, and that's a wait and see right now.
Yeah. I mean, safety is always first before you do anything else, because your health is very important, your family is very important. I mean, injuries can be very scary, like this one with Tua.
Yeah, like literally,
And
it looked brutal.
yeah, so my heart goes out to him, his family. I know it's going to be a very long week for him personally of what he wants to do, and I mean, we'll just have to see what happens with him going forward. Before I go to it, Victor and Eric's thoughts about the injury, I want to finish up talking to with you, Russell. Since we're almost up to 20 minutes here, what have you been doing? These days, as for what's your thoughts about the NFL with the past 2 weeks? With what team you think is going to be a big threat for both the AFC and the NFC? And that's my first part to the question. My second question is there anything you want to promote once you get done giving your thoughts about your
No, if you follow
thoughts?
my Twitter account, Bax Football Guru, everything I write is on there. So just keep an eye on that. I'm not shy about posting, not shy about interacting. As far as the league, we've gotten to the point here with the lack of action in the preseason and the fewer preseason games, that it takes a little time to sort things out in this league. You can't overreact to 2-0, and you can't underreact to 0-2.
Yes.
And we're right now the Ravens are 0-2, the Bengals are 0-2, the Rams are 0-2. A lot of teams that were in the playoffs last year lost in week 2. So I mean, the Niners I know it was a short week and so on, but they went into Minnesota and lost. So Kansas City struggled, had to win at the gun to beat Cincinnati, which isn't really a surprise because that's just how that rivalry has been for the last 4 or 5 years. So what is very, very evident, at least early in the season, is the reemergence of running games around the league, especially running backs. And I did a piece a couple of days ago, and we'll see Saquon Barkley tomorrow night. But you'll remember in 2023, there were 6 franchise players and 3 were running backs. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and Tony Pollard all played for a 1-year contract last year, all got pretty decent deals with new teams, and all of them, and we saw Barkley in Brazil last week with 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs had a big night and an even bigger day today. I mean, they absolutely humiliated the Colts on the ground today. Tony Pollard was effective again. You look around the league, Derrick Henry struggled for like 3 quarters and then got on track. Aaron Jones has been terrific. Even the back, we haven't seen Christian McCaffrey, and Jordan Mason has had back-to-back 100-yard games. So early in the season, we're looking at the running games. We're not seeing a lot of big 300-yard passing games from quarterbacks, but teams are still finding a way to move the football. And, this is a cyclical league. If everybody's going to play the pass, then get in there and run the ball. And then when everybody's playing the run, you throw the ball. So this goes in waves. This is not a passing league. There's just more passing emphasis than there used to be. So that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Like I said, it was another big day for running backs around the league. And I'll be curious to see where it goes.
I agree. And as to the other part of my question, I'll explain it better here. Who do you think is the biggest threat to the past Super Bowl matchup of the Chiefs and 49ers? Who is the biggest threat to the AFC team from the Super Bowl game last year and the NFC team of the Super Bowl last year? Chiefs and 49ers.
Well, I'm very curious to see Houston tonight. That's a very talented team, and since D'Amico Ryans got there, they've not only added veteran players through free agency and trades. You can almost sense that players want to come play for D'Amico Ryans. You saw that last year. I mean, that's a team that went 3 years and won a total of 11 games, and then last year, including the playoffs, they won 11 games. They struggled a bit with the Colts, but they got a road divisional win last week. They have the Bears, obviously, later tonight. C.J. Stroud, Offensive Rookie of the Year last year. Will Anderson Jr., Defensive Rookie of the Year last year. Added Stephon Diggs, added Joe Mixon. The Mixon deal I thought was great. Added Daniel Hunter.
A lot of experience.
So that's a team, they haven't played yet tonight. So that's certainly a team I'm keeping an eye on. As far as the 49ers and the NFC, you can't count out Philadelphia because of their playoff experience. But I'll tell you a team that's lurking, and then when I tell you this, it might surprise you. There's only one team in the NFC that's been to the playoffs each of the last 4 years. Anybody know who that is?
Want to take a guess, Eric?
I'm gonna say the Eagles.
Nope.
Victor?
The last every 5 years?
Said the last 4 years in the NFC.
4 years. NFC.
So you can't count because you're chewing on your hand and you won't be able to use your fingers to count.
I'm stumped.
Anybody? How about the Tampa
No,
Bay Buccaneers?
Oh, that's right. The Bucs.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
They won the
see that.
Super Bowl as a wild card in 2020. They've won the last 3 NFC title games. They've done it with 2 different head coaches. They've done it with 2 different starting quarterbacks. Jason Light has done a great job as a general manager. They went into Detroit and avenged that playoff loss.
Yeah.
From a year ago.
Yes, he did.
Baker Mayfield took a little bit of a beating from Aiden Hutchinson, but they're off to a terrific start. That's a team with growing confidence. And I know we'll see.
They're playing pretty well.
I know we'll be seeing San Francisco and Tampa Bay later in the year because they both won division titles, so they're on each other's schedule. So that's a team to give it. I mean, Green Bay, depending on how long Jordan Love is out. But
That's
one thing I'll say about the Packers, they did a lot of work on their defense in the offseason, and it didn't look much better this past week.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right. So I know you're on the Patriots playbook. Would like to explain what day and what time you're usually on there every week?
Thursday afternoons at 4:00. I've been doing this show with John Rook for 24 years. And, he has a lot of people on to talk about the Patriots. Not sure of the schedule this week because when there's a Thursday night game, sometimes we do things a little differently and so on. So just stay tuned. Patriots.com radio is where it's on. And it's funny because I'll talk about the Patriots, but John really has me on to talk about the rest of the league because he has people on from the Patriots and he'll have somebody on from the Jets and so on. So John and I used to work together at ESPN. He's a good man. It's a good show. There's a lot of good balance on the show as well. So that's my Thursday gig. And then I just do occasional podcasts and shows like this.
Awesome. And of course, you can also watch it on the Patriots YouTube channel as well. So it's, if you want to learn more about the Patriots, big Patriots fan, you can watch it, and also I believe there's a number for you guys to call in as well. I believe so. Whenever that happens,
Yeah, I think the number is 867-5309.
Okay.
I'm glad somebody got that.
I had to laugh because if David didn't get it, I'd have to come on. That's
All right,
yeah.
David, you might want to Google 867-5309.
Yeah.
No, I'm a New Yorker, so 867-5.
I'll
530.
I'll do that another time. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on, and I'll let you know when we can have you on again sometime, maybe for the
Right.
playoffs or something. For the playoffs or
Got it.
something.
You guys have a
So,
good night, okay?
You too, Mr. Baxter.
Yeah,
Thank you.
All
you
right.
too.
Have
Thank
a
you very
good night.
much.